welcome to Minds in Motion with Dr. K, the podcast that dives into the stories and insights of high-performing leaders who are shaping the world. Join us as we explore their journeys, successes, missteps, and the wisdom they've gained along the way. I'm your host, Dr. Anne-Marie Capel, aka Dr. K, and today I am going solo. Yes, so how are you doing, Minds in Motion community? I am coming to you with a serious question on today. How many of you have given yourself permission to be great? How many of you? How many of you have given yourself permission to be great? Have you? Or have you allowed your dreams to be limited by your reality? And I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about that on today. You know, many of us have dreams that remain just that, a dream. If you don't bring it to fruition, my question to you is, what have you been dreaming about, but you are too afraid to move forward and has been limiting yourself from becoming the best version of you? What is it? Is it guilt about a past thing that happened, about how you showed up in the past? Is it unworthiness because you think you're not worthy? You think you're not smart enough, you're not rich enough, you're not good enough? What is it? Is it fear of rejection? Have you been rejected in the past and now you feel whatever I attempt to go at, that rejection is going to show up as a trigger for me and I may not be able to handle the situation? Is it that not good enough feeling? Is it not feeling valued from past traumas or procrastination, which really is fear? So when you say I'm a procrastinator, it's really a fear tactic. Fear of doing whatever you need to do. Fear that you may not be successful in whatever you do. Fear of thinking, am I really going to be capable of doing this thing? And so you procrastinate. So if you are a procrastinator, consider moving forward in whatever you want to pursue and don't allow that fear to limit you. You know, what is it? What is it really that has been established in your mind to the point where it has penetrated your subconscious and is now manifesting in the form of triggers and have you feeling insecure? Just think for a moment. What can that be? You know, these things, whatever they are less than what you think you are or who you think you are. So whatever story you might be telling yourself that you are not, I will definitely ask you today to have a change of heart. You see, you need to change the way you think. And when you change the way you think, things begin to change for you. And it will really take a transformation, because we can change, but then we can always default to the old way of being or the old way of doing or the old way of thinking. But when you begin to transform, when something is transformed, it really doesn't go back to its original state. So you want to really be in a space of transformation. You know, the Word of God said what? You must be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So maybe you want to transform to think differently, to see yourself doing great exploits and attaining, that level of success that you will not do otherwise. You have to see yourself doing it. You have to believe in yourself first. And then you can give yourself permission to be great. And do it without allowing the negative Nancy's, you know them, how they show up, the Debbie Downers, the naysayers. Don't allow them to abort your dreams. So what you need a mind of Christ as you go through that transformation to see through some different lens. Only then you can step into bringing those dreams to pass. But as long as you see yourself not being able to do it, if you don't have a vision for it, then you cannot see yourself. You see yourself as not being enough. And then you won't do whatever that thing is. Because you got to remember, our thoughts drive us. So what are you thinking in any given moment? So begin to think about what you're thinking about, especially when you want to level up to something great and something different. You want to really think about it. What thoughts are coming up for you? What are those triggers that are coming up for you? What is that voice telling you? You know, there's the critic and then there's the advocate. You want to know which voice do I feed and which voice do I starve? And definitely you want to starve the critic that's telling you you cannot do a thing. And you want to feed the advocate who's saying, yes, you can. So you want to always be mindful of which voice you are listening to at any given moment, but especially when you know you're ready to give yourself that permission to be great, to do great things, to venture out into some new places and spaces, to do things and to do it differently and do it with excellence. Because you know what? Whether you think you can or you can't, either way, you are right. So I want you to say to yourself, yes, I can. Because I am saying to you, yes, you can. You can do all things if you believe you can. You know, one thing to note is if you make a decision to go after your dreams, you must know the way forward. What am I saying? You need to have a vision for where you're going. You want to make sure that you have a strategy, and you need to have a system. You need some type of a blueprint in order to find that way forward on what you're working towards. If you don't, then you will continue going in cycles. You're going to be stuck in the paralysis of the pain that's focusing and keep focusing on your reality. You know, you will just get stuck with analysis paralysis, which is driven by what? Fear of failure, fear of not feeling good enough, fear of don't think I have what it takes, fear that I believe that I don't have the confidence to do what I need to do. You see, you cannot overcome what you don't confront. And then you cannot confront what you don't acknowledge. So you cannot pursue what you don't believe. If you don't believe you have greatness inside of you waiting to be unlocked, then you will not pursue it. But I'm telling you today, there's greatness inside of you, and it's time to unlock that greatness that's locked up on the inside. For those who know the word, you know, there was a story of David that I like to think about. He went to war, and when he came from war, the only thing he found was his camp burned to the ground. All his family, his possessions, they were stolen, they were taken away, as well as everyone else in the camp. So David could have remained paralyzed by the pain, the shock of the loss. That was a great loss. But what happened? The Bible told us that he encouraged himself and he inquired of the Lord what he should do, and he received a word to pursue after the enemy and to conquer all that was stolen. So what do you need to go after? What do you need to give yourself permission to go after and conquer? Is it those dreams that you have put to the side? Is it that book that you know that you should have written? Is it that business that you know you need to have started? Is it that promotion that you need to go after? Is it a relationship that you're afraid to ask the question about? What is it that you need to give yourself permission to be great? So think for a moment and think, what is that thing? What is it that you are not giving yourself permission to be great about? You know, trauma can take away one's fortitude, and then you can remain stuck in victim mode. And what's going to happen is that you're going to be limiting your dreams by your own reality. So are you ready to give yourself permission to bring your dreams to life? Or are you choosing to allow fear, rejection, insecurity, unworthiness, procrastination, lack of confidence, fear of failure, not believing in yourself? Are you going to allow these things to abort your dreams prematurely? You know, sometimes you can be at the cusp of birthing something new, something big. And because of these insecurities, these triggers, or maybe the negative Nancy's and Debbie Downers that show up, or that voice, that voice, that critic that telling you you can't do a thing, they come and they abort your dreams in midstream. So I want you to really sit for a moment and think, what are some of those dreams that have been aborted? And I want you to go back and revisit those dreams and do some introspection and start bringing those things to life again. Start bringing them to life again. One of the things I often hear, and I believe it's a favorite person of mine who's no longer with us, Miles Monroe, I believe I hear him said, he said, the richest place in the world, it's not the gold mines in Africa. He said, it's not the oil wells in the Middle East, but it is the cemetery, yes, the graveyard. Why is that so? Because he said that's where books that were never written, businesses that were never started, inventions that were never released, cures for diseases, that's where they are all buried, in the graveyard, with individuals who were afraid to give themselves permission to be great. Individuals who allowed their dreams to be limited by their reality, and they did not give themselves permission to go after their dreams and bring it to fruition. They did not allow themselves to become the best version of themselves. They didn't go after those passions. Purpose and passion is not for us. Purpose and passion is for the people out there who are going to receive it and benefit from it. So stop hiding. Stop allowing your reality to keep you in a place of stuck. We get into that place of stuck and we can't move forward because what happened? Analysis paralysis overtake us. So I submit to you today to give yourself permission to be great. Stand in your truth. Be in your authentic self. Get a blueprint for your life and bring those dreams to life. Just don't let them die. Don't let them die. One of my favorite speakers that I want to acknowledge is Les Brown. And some of the things Les say, one of the favorite things that I often hear him say, he says, live full, die empty. He said, because there's greatness in you, but you must be hungry. So how many of you are hungry that are listening to this podcast? Are you hungry? We are, 2 months away from the end of 2023. How hungry are you to step into 2024 and give yourself permission to be great? Give yourself the permission to show up different, to show up and play full out, to show up as your authentic self. How many of you are willing to do that today? As you listen to this podcast, I hope you're going to ponder and just start really rethinking things. How am I stepping into 2023? Am I willing? Am I going to make the choice? Because guess what? It is a choice. So sometimes you have to give yourself a chance to take the choice, to choose to make a difference. Okay? And you got to give yourself permission to do these things. So are you hungry? Have you made a decision to bring those dreams into reality? Just don't allow your dreams to be limited by your reality. Begin by being transformed and shifting your mindset to be positioned for great success. This is your girl, Dr. K. Remember to be greater than your excuses, and always remember to empower you. Invest in you, because you are your greatest asset. See you at our next episode. Bye for now.